So it's a staggering figure, actually. So of all clinical trials, communities of color, and what I mean by that are Asian, Black, Latino, Native American, and Indigenous people represent 6% of clinical trials.
Really?
Yes.
Only
of
6%?
the respond. Exactly.
Wow, okay.
Yes. And then it gets even more alarming because when it comes to
Welcome to the Bourbon Friday Show, where every Friday we take a short break, try a new bourbon, and meet someone awesome from the St. Louis startup scene. In this case, we actually have another of our repeat guests. We have Melanie Igwe, who's the co-founder and COO of Drugviu. So Melanie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Doing well. Welcome back. Excited to have you here again.
Super excited to be back.
Cool. So we're talking about, in this case, a brand new company this time, right?
Yes.
It's a little bit different topic. So I think you mentioned that Drugviu is officially launching today,
Yes.
right? Okay. So
Yes.
tell us what it is, first of all.
Yeah, so Drugviu is a site that crowdsources medication reviews and experiences from communities of color.
Okay.
And essentially what we do is we have people fill out reviews, and from there they're able to list out those reviews against the medications that they take. And then from that, other communities of color or people in those different demographics are able to review that kind of information to have a better understanding of side effects for them.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking about this before, and I think Eric mentioned it to me last week too. This sounds, the problem here, it sounds like, stems from the fact that a lot of the research isn't even done on communities of color. Is that correct? Or?
That is correct. So it's a staggering figure, actually. So of all clinical trials, communities of color, and what I mean by that are Asian, Black, Latino, Native American, and Indigenous people represent 6% of clinical trials.
Really?
Yes.
Only
of
6%?
the respond. Exactly.
Wow, okay.
Yes. And then it gets even more alarming because when it comes to conditions that disproportionately affect communities of color, such as prostate cancer for African American men, or suicide or depression when it comes to East Asian women, the respondent level goes even lower.
Really?
And what's even sadder is that when it comes to Native Americans or Indigenous people, they're almost not included at all.
Represented at all. Wow. Okay. So has it always been that way? I mean, why is that the case?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different factors for why it's like that. So there has been a bit of a distrust with medicine in those communities because, especially in the African American community, there are things that happen like the Tuskegee Airmen where they were not given the correct syphilis medication. There's also things like the Henrietta Lacks cell where she actually had cancer. They took her cancerous cells and then never compensated the family to date. And those cells
still
have
using them
exactly
now, right?
Yeah. So there's a bit of a tug and pull on a bit of a distrust, and then also medicine kind of leaving out those communities. So we're just really excited because we want to change that. We really want to take this as an opportunity to change that conversation, empower people with their own data, and use that as an opportunity for people to get healthier and just really have agency over their health.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, and I would imagine because it's coming from the same community, there's a little more trust kind of inherently there.
Exactly.
Trusting the pharmaceutical companies themselves.
Right. And that's a big thing for us is transparency. So when we were talking about this with physicians and pharmacists, that was the main thing that kept coming up was trust and transparency. And that's what we want to offer to the communities that we're serving, is that this is a site that you can trust. This is a site that we will ensure has quality data. And it's a site that you can use to ensure and improve your own health.
Yeah, it's great. So empowering people to kind of take over that responsibility
Exactly.
a little bit more. Okay, great. So I know you're launching now. Have you done a beta at all? I mean, do you have any existing data? Tell us how it's
So we
going.
did a beta. It went extremely well. Like we got over 2,000 beta users, no marketing. We were able to get tons of feedback on the site, and then also like how people really felt about it. And I think for me, it just gets really emotional because you have people that have had these conditions and have been looking for information that helps them. And they finally feel like this is a site that does that.
That's
so
awesome.
Like it's just been very emotional, but in a great way because like you have like family that's like I wish I would have had this so I could have a more informed conversation with my physician. I had a friend who told me her father actually passed away from prostate cancer 2 years ago. And she was like, I really wish that my father would have had this because that would have helped him on his journey.
Gotcha.
So it's just really, really great to have that and to have a site that can just really help people.
Yeah, that's great. And then obviously, as you collect more and more data, it gets more potent,
exactly,
more valuable.
Exactly.
Right?
You hit the nail on the head. Yes.
Cool.
Every single person that is able to contribute their medication experience to this site enriches the site, and it makes it more and more valuable and more better for those communities.
Sure.
So, yeah, we're just really trying to push people to go on, share their medication experiences so that we can start controlling the way that we look at our health and the way that we maintain our health.
Very cool. Okay. And is this something that you expect to eventually partner with the pharmaceutical companies, or are you just kind of saying, hey, you haven't been doing this the right way from the beginning? Or?
So right now, we're taking the approach where we're hands off, right? We want to make sure that we really own the data and understand it and make sure that the benefits are there.
Okay.
And then as we go on, we can then explore that. But right now, we want to make sure that we're providing the best information and data for those communities without any kind of murkiness of like, wait, why is, Lilly or Merck we're kind of working with you guys?
Sure,
so,
selling $100 million selling data to some company.
Exactly. But what we are doing is we are partnering with a large discount prescription provider where we can now link you to prescription discounts.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's super exciting. So now, because if you think about it, a lot of the communities that we're serving, they are at that intersection of they need better health information, but they may also be price sensitive when it comes to their medication.
Sure.
So we're providing all of that in one. So
that's great.
Enhanced side effect medication information, and then on top of that, linking you to prescription discounts as well.
Very cool. Okay. All in one place. I like it.
Exactly. And we also have racial specific health information, as well as news that's pulled from all over the world, talking about this challenge and then any kind of advances that are happening in this space.
So one question I have for you is, a big hot topic of the current era is data privacy, right?
Right.
So it sounds like sharing your medical data obviously is kind of a big commitment.
Right.
So how do you address that? Is it all anonymized, or how do we make sure?
Exactly. That's an excellent question. So we there is HIPAA.
Okay, of course.
So we have to make sure that the data is secure, and the way that we do that is exactly that. We anonymize it, and then even when we're pulling your data, like we identify your race by like avatars, so that we're able to go through it like that. But yes, we're very, very, very big on data and data security and making sure that we are transparent about what it is that we're doing with people's data, and always making sure that that data is being fed back to those communities to help them.
Gotcha.
So,
Very cool. All right. And so another question I have is, obviously this is individuals going out and they're looking up information for themselves. How does their physician play a role in that? So do they bring that to them, or the physicians on the platform? What does that look like?
Yes. So we actually want that dual action happening, right?
Okay. So
with this is an empowerment tool where you can go on, you leave a review, you can find reviews, and then from that, you're able to have a better, you're able to be better informed about the medications that you're looking at.
Okay.
If you've already been prescribed a medication, which most of our users are coming on will be, we also provide alternatives. So that way you can open up that dialogue with your physician to say, hey, these alternatives, when it comes to me, an African-American woman who is age 34, this is, and I have type 2 diabetes, these are the alternatives that I'm seeing. So what can we do about that? And then we're also really making sure that we tie in physicians and pharmacists so that they're a part of this conversation as well, because we want to make sure that the data that we're getting is sound and it's helpful for people.
That's great. Yeah. Obviously, it can help all the people involved there.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So you're just launching today, right? So what does that look like? What's been going on today?
So it has been a lot, but our dev team is incredible. They are a great group of people, super smart. It has taken a lot, because having a site like that the biggest thing is making sure that the data integrity is there.
Sure.
So we've made sure to check it, check it once, check it twice, check it 3 times. It's more like 10 times for us.
Over and over again.
Right. To make sure that the data is quality and also that the user experience is really going to be great as well. So
Gotcha.
We're actually launching on both desktop and mobile.
Okay.
So we're super excited about that. So it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, you can, get onto drugviu.com either from your phone or from your desktop.
Cool. And I would imagine this is the kind of thing that probably would spread organically, right? Because people would tell their family and friends about it.
Yes.
Have you seen that, especially in the beta?
Exactly. That's exactly what you hit the nail on the head. That's
Sure.
exactly what we saw. We saw a lot of people that were sharing. We actually, the last count that I saw, it has been shared in 29 different countries.
Really?
So
Wow.
that was really exciting
That's
to
awesome,
us as
yeah.
well, because we do see this as an opportunity for it to be a global resource
Sure,
for
of
health. So yeah.
Very cool. Okay. And so if somebody wants to sign up, right? I mean, just go to drugviu.com
Yep.
or where's the platform?
Yep,
Yeah.
drugviu.com.
Okay.
You can go on there, peruse the site, look for the medication and or condition information that you need.
Okay.
And yeah.
Very cool. And it's not View like V-I-E-W, right?
No,
it's
it is.
V-I-U, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is drugviu.com.
Okay.
And really the name is great because we wanted to have drugs from your point of view.
Gotcha.
So that's why
All
it's
right.
Drugviu.
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they want to check it out, just go to that website, get
Yes.
signed up, and then just obviously promote it all we can today because this is the big day for the launch, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Very cool. Exciting. Anything else you want to share with us before we move on to Eric's segment?
Oh, no, I'm just super excited to be here. I'm really, this is a passion of mine,
Yeah.
So like I have family members, I have friends that have needed a resource like this. So
Yeah,
it's
I
just
bet.
really awesome to be able to give this back. So yeah.
Must feel very good after all these years to
It
finally be able to give them a
does.
solution
It does.
to a significant problem. So
Yeah.
that's great. Okay, so we got a few minutes left, and as always, we're going to bring one of your good friends, right, Eric, onto the show, the founder of Bourbon Friday. And I see a whiskey on the table that looks a little familiar here. So why don't you tell
It's
us
a little
how
familiar,
do
but
we
it's never
handle
been on the
this
show.
one? Okay.
Oh,
Tell us the
all
story,
right.
yeah.
So this is Old Granddad, 114.
Old Granddad.
As in 114 proof.
Strong.
Strong.
Yeah. Oof.
So the reason I brought this is, so we've talked about like medicinal bourbon before, right? Old Granddad was one of the medicinal bourbons, and it was like probably the most popular one because it was so strong.
Yeah.
So American Medicinal Spirits is the company at that time that was making Old Granddad. So of course, connection there, obviously.
Yeah.
And they started in Cincinnati. You spent some time there.
I did.
Right? And the one interesting thing about this is during Prohibition, another company headquartered in Chicago,
Okay.
just like you guys,
All right.
just like you guys, really sort of like maybe not turn things around, but they scaled really rapidly, right? They went from 20 stores during Prohibition to over 600 because they were able to service medicinal bourbon. That company is Walgreens. It's a $75 billion company.
Wow. Okay.
So
Wow.
Interesting.
yeah. So they like if you ask Walgreens, they're like, well, I mean, maybe that was part of it, but we also introduced the malted milkshake in 1923.
Oh, really?
So they're like, and so that played its part.
Yeah.
So
It was probably the booze when it was illegal.
well,
It seems
most
like
people are just
the
like
corner on a potent market there, right?
exactly, and alcohol, as we know, good for most things. At the time, was prescribed from anything from tuberculosis to high blood pressure to cancer.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. I would imagine that would not get a good rating on Drugviu, right?
No.
Doesn't treat
Considering
cancer
you
very
cannot
well.
take most medications with alcohol, especially probably 114 proof.
Probably.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about out of time. So, Eric, as always, thanks for hooking us up with a great story of bourbon. So that's potent stuff, right? Medicinal quality. Melanie, thanks for joining us again. It's a lot of fun seeing you again. I'm your host, Nick Niehaus. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much to Kovo for hosting us here, and congratulations on 1 year here in St. Louis. Thank you to Vanessa Lobo, my business partner at Connect Marketing, who always does our streaming. And of course, thank you to EQ, which provides us a platform to share our show every single week. Please tune in again next Friday at 4:30, and we will see you then.
Hey, thanks for watching. We truly hope you enjoyed it. Please like and share this episode, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. To stay up to date, follow us on social. We are at Bourbon Fridays on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. See you next time.